Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, the unofficial start of summer is here. We are getting you ready for a Memorial Day weekend travel surge. From the airport to the roads, our team is keeping track of it all to make sure you get to your final destination safely and stress-free.
Monkeypox may be here in Colorado. State officials are tracking a possible case, but say it's too early to be too concerned.
And lace up your running shoes. The Boulder is back in person on Monday, and one man is ready to lead 4 generations of his family in the event.
I've got kids and grandkids and great-grandkids that's going to be in this.
Wow.
So I've got plenty of support.
Yeah, how about that get up too?
Yeah.
Whether you're running, walking, or just watching this Memorial Day tradition, we have tips to make the most of race day.
Yeah.
It will be exciting to see all the people and the costumes and the slip and slide.
Back for the first time since 2019
I
in
know.
3 years,
Yeah,
so we've
it's
been
gonna
waiting
be
for it.
A lot of fun. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady, and wherever your weekend is taking you, our team is getting you ready. Colette Bordelon is at the airport this morning. Jason Luber, of course, monitoring the roads. Let's start with Katie LaSalle because the temperatures are going to feel like summer.
Yes, they really will. High 80s to near 90 degrees. Warmer weather statewide to round out this week. Temperatures really mild outside right now. We're in the low 60s, both downtown Denver and out to the airport. Dry conditions this morning. We're in the low 50s, Lakewood, Broomfield, and Arvada, mid to upper 50s right now, and up into the mountains, not quite as cold, but still seeing some low 30s in spots. Your wake up forecast for the metro area by 8 o'clock, climbing to the mid 60s, and then you can see a big warm up in store. Noon nearing the low to mid 80s and daytime highs topping out at 87 out of the airport, 86 expected into Highlands Ranch, 90 over Platteville and Keensburg and up to the mountains, 60s and 70s expected. So very warm today, partly cloudy skies. We could see a few isolated late day storms, but a better chance for a little more rain, shower and storm activity come Sunday. And Jason, right now we're looking nice for the Boulder.
Yeah, we're also looking nice for holiday travel, whether you're going up to Wyoming, you're going up into the high country. Right now on I-70, you can see it looks good all the way here. This is where the Buffalo Herd overlook. The truckers are just kind of hanging out either at their service time or they have to take a rest or they're just having breakfast. Take a look at the drive. It will be busier later on this morning up that way. Across Metro Denver, it actually is pretty quiet. Should be lighter than normal for us today. A lot of folks are heading out and about, and you can also see on the overall map a lot of green out there. We will also see a lot of folks heading up to Wyoming for recreation for the holiday weekend. Right now, the busy area is going to be at the airport. Now, driving along Pena Boulevard, speed still in the high 60s. E470 looks good. No problems on Tower Road. But inside the airport, we already have a lot of folks out there trying to catch their early morning flight. The bridge is at 19 minutes. Look at the South Security already at 30 minutes. At the end of the line is where Colette Bordelon is right now, hanging out in the baggage claim area, Colette, and it looks like you have a lot of frustrated travelers that are probably freaked out that they're not going to make their flight, but as I understand, the line moves fairly well.
It's moving okay, but I've already heard some people say they're not going to make it if they keep waiting here in the South Security line. I spoke with someone at the back of the line who's working here. She said that 30-minute estimate actually not all that accurate. She would guess it's taking more around 45 minutes to get through this South Security line, which is really the only line you can use besides the bridge security, which is moving a bit quicker as it always does. That North Security, though, reserved for TSA pre-check. But look at this line. This is what you might not feel comfortable with, even if you feel comfortable traveling. This line stretching all the way down, so that's normally where it starts. You can see where the people are starting to kind of queue more up there. That's normally where you see it. But then if you take a look back here, it wraps all the way around the baggage claim. It's past number 4 down there. It's starting to bend around that corner. Now, we've been seeing and hearing from people at the airport that this is what they've come to expect from the South Security line. DIA does recommend getting here at least 2 hours before you board your flight. And over this Memorial Day weekend, more than 1 million people are expected to travel through DIA. That's from Thursday to Tuesday. This is expected to be one of the busiest days, according to the airport, during that weekend. The other one, Memorial Day, they're saying more than 200,000 people each day are expected. If you do have a flight, make sure you're giving yourself enough time. Parking wasn't too bad in those garages, but if you are dealing with security like this, you just want to make sure you feel comfortable out there. Live at DIA, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Wow, that starts early out there. Hopefully it looks worse than it really is. Thank you, Colette. With the big crowds out at the airport, DIA is asking that you arrive extra early. Obviously, there are some new options to make your time at the airport a little more enjoyable. The Plaza on the Park opens today, which is the area between the terminal and the hotel, and I was there as they were setting up the green space this week.
It's really exciting, and people can step outside the airport and experience a park. Like, when does that happen? It's grass-like turf, there's lounge seating, there's cornhole, and on certain Fridays there's going to be jazz performances, and then this summer there's going to be free mini golf.
Yeah, the airport doesn't have to be a stressful time all the time. If you do have extra time going through security, consider a visit possibly to the new gates out on the B concourse. There's outdoor seating, a fire pit, and new concessions there.
As the summer travel season picks up, state health officials are tracking the first possible case of monkeypox here in Colorado. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is outside CDPHE headquarters in Denver. And Jessica, health officials really want to stress the risk to the greater public is still very low.
That's right. Health officials are stressing that. Our governor's stressing that as well. Yesterday saying that, yes, the risk here of contracting monkeypox is low. At the same time, he says that the disease is serious, but generally not fatal for people with healthy immune systems. Now, with that being said, yesterday, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment did announce that our state does have its first presumptive case of monkeypox, and here's how it's spread. In parts of the world where human cases of monkeypox usually happen, people are generally exposed through bites or scratches from infected rodents and small mammals. It can also spread when a person's preparing wild game or having contact with an infected animal or possibly animal products. High-risk exposure is when there's unprotected contact between one person's skin or mucous membranes and the skin, lesions, or bodily fluids from a person known to have active monkeypox virus in their bodies. There are 2 vaccines that are available to treat and to prevent monkeypox, and Colorado is requesting vaccines from the federal government for those who are at high risk. Monkeypox expert Dr. Reginald Washington says risk will be low for most people.
I think there will be more cases as it spreads from person to person. But I think because we know how it's spread and we know who's at risk for this, meaning someone who already has the monkeypox, I think it will be self-contained within certain populations, and there will be no reason to have widespread vaccinations to the general population.
There are currently monkeypox outbreaks in Canada and in some European countries. It's typically very rare here in the U.S., but it's more common among people who have traveled internationally. Live from Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Jessica. This has been a tough last week of school. Law enforcement had to respond to several metro area schools over reports of guns and threats. Northfield High School in Denver was put on lockdown yesterday over reports a student brought a gun to school. It turned out to be a paintball gun. 2 boys were detained and later released to their parents. Cherry Creek High School also went into lockdown yesterday. Police received a tip someone wanted to, quote, shoot up the school. Police were able to secure the school and students returned to class. In Boulder, a student is facing discipline for bringing an airsoft gun to Casey Middle School. That's the same school where another student was arrested for leaving a threat earlier this week. This morning, the memorial outside Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas is growing. 21 names are etched into those white crosses you see there behind so many flowers and notes. In memory of the 19 children and 2 teachers killed. Law enforcement officials are now facing intense criticism after their story about how everything unfolded changed. Officials now say a school resource officer did not confront the gunman outside the building. The shooter actually entered through an unlocked door. Police officers first to arrive on scene confronted the shooter but were driven back by gunfire and called for backup. It wasn't until an hour later that a tactical team forced entry and took out the gunman. Parents could be seen on witness videos pleading with police to go in.
Some of them just stood there and said to myself, well, why aren't they going in?
They rushed in and all that. We didn't see that.
The Texas Department of Public Safety is now investigating the response. It could take weeks, though, to hear results from that. President Biden and the First Lady will visit Uvalde on Sunday and will meet with families who lost their loved ones.
Well, today, police in Texas expect protests outside the NRA's national convention in Houston. The event comes just days after the tragic school shooting in Uvalde. Former President Donald Trump and other Republican leaders are expected to be there. However, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has canceled his appearance, and at least 4 musicians set to perform at the event have also canceled. Well, the sadness and stress we're all feeling in response to the tragedy in Texas is only amplified in our teachers. They know their colleagues in Texas use their bodies to shield their students from the bullets, and they know someday they may have to do the same.
A balloon goes off and you kind of wait. It wasn't just a balloon. We had a transformer blow in the neighborhood a few weeks ago, and there's always that first instinct is a gunfire.
Frankly, I've heard from so many of them that they're tired of having to bear that burden and that weight of thinking about what they would do if this happened in their school, their classroom.
Mental Health Colorado says teachers are coping with a lot right now, from reacting obviously to the school violence to also just making sure kids stay on track academically after the pandemic. They are encouraging teachers to take time to address their mental health and seek help if they need it. So we will continue to follow the latest from the Texas tragedy on thedenverchannel.com. We also have resources if you're looking to support families of the victims. Katie, brighter days ahead.
Yes, and we're starting off at 5:11 at 62 degrees out at DIA. Winds are sustained from the southwest around 14 miles per hour. Breezy conditions expected here and there through this weekend, but daytime highs, it is going to be warm for this time of the year. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees, Jason, feeling like summertime.
Yeah, it certainly is. And right now the drive up to Wyoming looks good. A lot of folks will be heading up there, Laramie or Cheyenne or wherever you want to go up there into Wyoming. And the drive on I-25 looks good. 287 also looking good north of Ted's Place, Fort Collins, going up into Laramie. So a good drive if you're going to be heading to the north of the state.
Well, kids all over the country depended on virtual learning during the height of the pandemic. Now a human rights group says companies took advantage of these students gathering their data. We'll have the latest.
Also, it isn't just a 3-day weekend. How you can pay tribute to Coloradans who made the ultimate sacrifice protecting our freedoms.